You walk into the lobby and everything looks perfect. The front desk is slammed, your occupancy targets are cleared, and the property is humming. Your top-level metrics look perfectly healthy. Revenue per available room, RevPAR, is exactly where it should be. But when you get the end-of-month profit and loss statement, the margins are inexplicably tight. If your rooms are full and your rates are holding, you don't have an occupancy problem. You have a revenue leakage problem. Hitting peak occupancy actually creates a false sense of security. It makes the operation look so successful on paper that nobody notices the quiet, daily erosion of actual profit. Most hotels track third-party distribution commissions as a single blended line item, a flat average around 18%. But this hides the granular reality. When broken down by channel, your highest volume source might actually cost 28%. This gap creates what we call average daily rate, or ADR, suppression.
These are tiny, unmanaged gaps in a hotel's pricing architecture that quietly siphon off margin, one booking at a time. Suggestional top-level revenue metrics are built to measure total volume. They are entirely blind to the hidden, granular costs of how you actually acquired those guests. Let's look at how this happens in practice. Imagine a weekday corporate traveler who already knows they need to stay at your specific property for a meeting. Here we see two almost identical price tags. On the left is the hotel's negotiated corporate rate. On the right is the public rate visible on an online travel agency, or OTA. Because these two prices are so close together, an overlapping vulnerability opens up. The guest makes a highly rational decision. Instead of using their direct corporate booking channel, they book through the OTA. The price is similar enough that they decide to collect the personal reward points offered by the third-party platform. The financial impact on the property is immediate. You just acquired the exact same guest you were always going to get, but instead of paying zero commission on a direct corporate booking, you now owe a 28% cut to the OTA. Smart consumers recognize these pricing overlaps as active arbitrage exploits, gaming the system for their own personal gain. By leaving those rates unmanaged and too close together, the hotel effectively paid a massive premium to buy back a guest who was already walking through the front door. Now look at this calendar grid, representing a guest looking to book a consecutive 7-night stay. If a property uses static pricing, the daily rate doesn't dynamically adjust to reward a longer booking. This creates a different kind of gap across the booking channels. A savvy guest quickly figures out that they can manipulate the system. They split the reservation, booking 4 nights on one platform and 3 nights on another, bypassing the static pricing to secure a much lower blended rate for the exact same week. On a single transaction, this looks like a minor rounding error, but when this exact behavior repeats itself 200 times a month across your system, it extracts thousands of dollars of rate that you simply never collected. Flawed, static pricing architectures actively train rational consumers to cannibalize the hotel's profit margins. The immediate cash loss is only half the problem. The real danger lies in the long-term structural damage this does to your channel mix. As you can see in this balance graphic, when an OTA quietly captures a larger share of what should have been direct bookings, the weight shifts. That third-party platform gains disproportionate algorithmic power over the hotel's visibility. You become dependent on that single channel for your baseline volume. That loss of leverage leaves the property entirely exposed if that OTA suddenly decides to change its ranking rules or demand higher commissions. Leaving revenue leakage unmanaged today guarantees a loss of independent negotiating power tomorrow. Revenue leakage doesn't work like a big, dramatic operational failure. It works like a tiny valve venting pressure from a high-performance engine. The machine doesn't break down. It just perpetually runs at 85% of what it should be earning. Quarter after quarter, the hotel still operates, and because nothing looks overtly broken on the surface, nobody ever goes looking for the root cause of that missing 15%. To plug these holes, operators have to abandon set-and-forget pricing baselines. Healthy channel mix and rate parity require actively auditing the microscopic gaps between your rate plans and your external channels every single month. Profitability in the modern market depends on the ruthless defense of the transaction architecture itself,
rather than simple volume.